Guys, I'm going to have to cut you off real quick because we got our first
Oh.
guest of the show, bringing in the head coach of the Chicago Sky and GM, James Wade. He'll be joining us momentarily. Happy to have him on the show. Oh, and yes, I love it. He's got the Diamond to Shields glasses on, and he's got the basketball hoop behind him. But the real question
and the
is
Fisher Price hoop. I love it, Coach.
What it.
Hey, it's never too late to work on your game. My son beat me in a shooting contest, so tomorrow I'm gonna be ready for him when he get up in the morning.
There you go. There you go.
I'm loving it, Coach. We got to talk to you now. Real quick, talk to us now that you can be a little bit more upfront, a little bit more honest about what's going on. What was your game plan going into tonight?
Our game plan was Ruth was first on our board. We felt like she can complement everything that we wanted, and we just didn't know if we were going to get her. We knew that Dallas having so many picks, we didn't know if they were going to trade them or anything like that. But she was the one that we coveted the most. We liked other players. We liked Dangerfield. We liked Montpelier. We liked a few other players, Harris, but she was the one that we felt that we didn't have a player. She was different from what we had. She's a player that she plays well in pick and rolls, and we do have that. But she doesn't stretch the floor like the other post players that we have. But she has good hands, and she reminds me a little bit of players that you see in the draft. You say, wow, they have so much touch, and they kind of scare you off where you say, okay, but she is what she's going to be. But what she is a good player. You can go back to a player like a Sophia Young or Nafisa Kari from last year. Those players that make everything around the basket, everything. That's a skill within itself. You give it to them in whatever angles, they're going to make shots at whatever angles. And for her, the last 3 years, she's been making 7 out of 10 shots. That's amazing. Like that's amazing. So when you get a player and you want to develop them, you say, okay, that's one thing that you don't have to develop. You can go to the next step. Okay, we can extend our range a little bit. Okay, we'll work on that. But you don't have to work on finishing. You don't have to work on catching the ball. You don't have to work on fighting or defensive intensity as far as her talking. You see a game, she's going to be talking at the point of the screen, telling you, screen on the right, screen on the left, little things. Early work on defensive rebounds, early work on offensive rebounds. So those are the type of things, players that appreciate those things, they have a high upside, I think. And the fact that she's so efficient, where it's 3 years, we had to, as a coaching staff, watch a bad game. Just to say, okay, why did she go 4 for 10 or 5 for 10? And when you see that, you say, okay, she goes 5 for 10 every blue moon. You say, okay, this is a WNBA player.
Yeah, Coach, I have to ask you, was this a scenario where she was available and she was number 1 on your board, you had to go with it, or was it a scenario where, I guess what I'm trying to get at, you guys went into this draft, and I think with a lot of the mock drafts, you had people talking about you guys maybe taking a point guard, or you had people talking about you potentially taking size. Obviously, this answers that question, but was there a temptation to kind of go with the point guard spot? We can talk about kind of the third round and Pristine as potentially filling that role, but this obviously was what you felt like the Sky needed to take it to the next level.
Yeah, I thought we needed that. We have an elite point guard, and I didn't want to, I understand that having insurance for her is very important, and that's why we signed Sydney Colson. Yeah. But, I thought that to have a fifth big is what we needed, especially one young and dynamic as Ruthie is. And I felt like that was probably a bigger need for us going forward. I still feel like, okay, to have a third point guard is nice, especially one that you can develop. But when you weigh the pros and cons against both, I felt like, and who Ruthie is as a player and what we think that she could become, I think, it was overwhelmingly, in the favor of us having to take Ruthie instead of looking for something somewhere else.
do you feel like Ruthie was overlooked a little bit because of her teammates at Oregon somewhat this year?
Of course, and sometimes it happens. Like she had great teammates. She had great teammates and Sabrina and Satu, and so she just came to work. She was like the blue collar worker. She just brought a lunch pail to work and wasn't flashy, but again. Almost 7 out of 10 of her shots, every time she put the ball up, they went in. Like, and we watched games where they sunk into the post. So what she would do is she would catch it and get it out real quick and repost. And I just think that's amazing, because if she does that with our players, they sink in on her, then that's Diamond, Ka, and Gabby attacking closeouts, or that's Quigley getting wide open threes. So you have to pick your poison.
Coach, how do you balance developing, a first round pick like Ruthie, while also competing where she may not be able to get as many minutes as you'd hope? How do you make up for that gap between real time play and your development process in house?
So I mean, the one thing that we do, we have player development every day. So the players get in an hour before and they have certain time slot, and our assistant coaches are amazing. And so we work them out individually. We try to look for opportunities that when we can play them, and we try to get them some game time situations. But a lot of it is going to be done in practice, and they just have to be ready when their name is called. We look at a lot of video. We try to correct them, but we're a team that focuses on development. And the funny thing is that. We have players that want to get better. So we never had, when you have your veteran who's 10 years in the league, or when you have a veteran that's 12, 13 years in the league, and they're the first ones working out in the morning that play development, then the young players have to fall in line. And that's something that it was a non-negotiable from day one, is that we have player development every morning, and we will start practice afterwards. But that's something that we have to do to get better if we want to compete with the better teams in the league, and if we want to consider ourselves one of those teams. And I think it helped us progress throughout the season.
Coach, I'm curious, real quick. It's a two-part question. One, was there any moves? Because I think for a lot of the fans, there's a few draft picks that were a little bit shocking and unexpected. Were there any that kind of made you go, oh? And then second of all, can you talk to us about your other picks?
Well, we liked Micaiah Herbert Harrigan, but earlier, because we thought that we weren't going to be able to get Ruthie. And so when they picked her, we were shocked. But I understand why they picked her. She's a good player. But we felt like Ruthie was a better choice for us. And we thought that, if we don't get Micaiah, if we don't get Ruthie, where do we go? Do we go to Micaiah? Do we go to Beatrice Montpelier? Or do we go to Crystal Dangerfield? And but you have to weigh those options, because there's no way that we thought that Ruthie would be there for us. And as far as the other picks are concerned, with Kaya, I think that was a good gift for us, because she was somebody who we thought would be either end of the first round or top of the second round player. And she has good skill sets, and we didn't understand why she dropped. Seems like a good kid with high character. So we made the decision to bring her in, and we told her she has to make the best of her opportunity. And she, talking to her, it was a pleasant conversation, and she seems like she's ready to accept the challenge. So it was a good pick for us, especially someone that played well in the ACC. Has a nice game to her, good one-on-one game, good shot from outside, and things of that nature. And even though she may be considered a little bit undersized, she has a 6'6" standing reach or something like that. So she's the size of, when you just take all the measurements of on the court, she's the size of somebody 6'4" instead of 6'2". So and Japrice Dean, we thought she's a good point guard that played in a point guard conference, and she competed well. And so we thought we got three good picks in the draft. So we thought we were happy.
Well, thank you so much, Coach. We really appreciate your time. We know you have to get back to practicing on the Fisher-Price rim to beat your son. But congratulations on your picks, and we really appreciate your time.
Congratulations. Thanks for being here, Coach.
Hey, thank you guys for all you do, and just be safe and take care of yourselves.
You too.
All right. Bye.